like when it comes to science-based things and also experience also. Like people are experiencing things. Like why are you too fast? Like you're 16 and you're already doing those things. Like those things.
So you
I don't
were
know if I've
taught to do
answered
it?
the question. Yes. I don't know. Are we talking about something? But
We can only hope so. We hope we're talking about the same thing.
Andy.
You know, Nigerian movies we grew up watching, oh, that story where some suffers. And then towards the end, everything just falls in place, right?
If you don't need sort of connection, if you don't have the place to stay, you need connections to find a place to stay. Otherwise, you become from one every day. So like UNZA is built to build us to become.
Let's get this down. Turn up.
No, it will be saved, I think, on either end of
I hope so,
should be.
because I anticipate a great episode with one Francisca.
Francisca, you have such a unique name for Zambian. Don't you think so? Mostly this would be like I don't know. Francisca just sounds so high
I
energy.
know.
I don't think I've ever met a Francisca. It would either be Florence or you know,
Lenga.
yeah, or Faustina or Foster. But
Yes.
Francisca just sounds happy.
Yeah, I
Sounds.
never select my name actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I never heard of it. Like there was no one with that name, and it was long. Like why is it so long?
You wanted your name to be short, like when I'm there.
Yes, I didn't have a short name. I actually wanted to change my name.
No. Don't. Your name is cool.
I was
Being unique
young.
is
I
best.
was young. So,
Oh, back then, I thought you wanted to change it now.
mm,
You said something really profound, Francisca, when before we started recording this. You said it's either hot or cold, and I was about to make a point to say, to me that seems like that's how life is in general. Everything is
okay.
either too much of this or too much of that, and true perfection and true success, I feel like, is finding that perfect balance, right?
Yeah.
If it
Yeah.
is you not not being too outgoing, or if it means you're not being like too much of a shadow of yourself. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
curious to know who inspired you growing up. And I asked this question because I wanted to set the tone and just give me a brief overview of who you are as a person and what has shaped you up. Because this is only the second time I think I'm speaking to you, and I just like to know that piece of information. I feel like it says so much about who you are, like
Mm-hmm.
who you look up to growing up.
Who did I look up to growing up?
Yeah.
So I have an older brother. Yeah. So it's like they were brought up. This is the firstborn, so we like follow the footsteps of the firstborn in a way. So for me, I don't really look at like who inspires me, what. I don't really have that one person because my dad told me that we need to explore life in like steps. Everything is like steps. So there's not really like one person. So it's, I'm just like going through life step by step, just like that. And I'm still trying to learn about myself. Yeah. Even today, if you were to ask me, or tomorrow, I'll still be confused because I'm learning new things every day.
Gosh, that's such a good answer. Because one thing I've also learned recently Well, not recently, but like you, I also mostly looked up to my elder brother growing up. But one thing I've really learned is different aspects of your life will require you to look up to different people who've made it in those different aspects. If it means
Exactly.
academia, if it's life in general.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Do you have any pressure of being as good as your brother? Maybe did your brother do certain things that you looked at and you're like, damn, I also need to reach those heights?
I think there was that pressure, and doesn't like no, you have to be as good as him. Like I remember, you know, these exams we have grade 7, 9, and 12. So I remember grade 7, like my brother got 8, 10. Yes, so my dad was like, you have to pass him, you have to pass him, you have to pass him. All the time you have to pass him,
Yeah.
like comparing, and I hate being compared. I hate it so much. And then when I got my grade 7 results and I didn't pass him, I cried. I cried. And then he himself, he told me, I was like, no, you still pass. You can still go to a nice school. Kali, back then, like, when you fail, you either go back to grade 7 or you go back to grade 6 or you go to a basic school. I didn't want to go to a basic school. No. So I thought that, you know, I'd failed and whatnot, but himself, he told me that, no, you haven't failed. You know, these are still good marks. And like, yeah, they were very good marks because the school I went to, I was like the second highest with those marks. Shocking.
Nice. Sounds like
Yeah.
a really family type of a person, huh?
Yes. Family number one.
Mm. Do you think the pressure that society puts on us in terms of like, because I mean we all hate comparisons, but comparisons are
Yeah.
always thrown out there at us. Do you think that has impacted you in any way? If you're being compared to other people, do you think it makes you work harder, better, or do you think it's just draining?
I mean, it's like 50-50, you know? Because
Yeah.
if you have a specific goal for yourself, now, no, I want to achieve this and this and this, I think you work towards that goal. Because if you go towards, for example, social media, just the way social media is, how intimidating social media is, you can find that you're on chapter 4, that person is on chapter 27, and you want to get to their chapter 27 when you're still in chapter 4. So it's like it's 50-50. You get, yeah.
Right.
But it does. I don't even know how to explain, but yeah.
No, I hear you.
Mm.
I just feel like sometimes society puts so much pressure on us, especially with our Zambian culture. Because I
Ah,
sort of have a similar experience. My other brother did extremely well at grade 7. Now everyone was looking at me to say, okay, now you have to do this. And I was like, okay, I would love to do that, but if it doesn't happen, then I'll feel less of myself, you know.
mm-hmm. I
I
think
sort
it's
of
different
feel,
for males.
in what
How is
sense?
that different from me?
Explain yourself.
Like, it's the norm as a man. Like, you know, you're supposed to push yourself, you know? Push yourself
Shouldn't it?
because you are the leader. A man is a leader.
But so was my brother, and he did it. He led the way, and so
But again, it's your brother. Even if you're supposed to have your own, you know.
yeah, I like what you said. Your own. So yeah,
Mm,
they should respect me in my own lane. If they start
exactly.
comparing me to my brother, it will be
Mm,
like, yeah, I need to do exactly what he did. What if my purpose in life isn't aligned with
it's
what he
not.
did? Yeah.
Yeah.
So just because
Yeah.
I'm a man doesn't mean I need to do exactly.
A man is a leader. So you don't think a woman is a leader?
A woman is the neck upon
Pause.
according to the
Hello.
Bible.
They can. Women can lead. Yeah, I'll say the leading part according to the Bible. But you know how it is these days. A woman can also lead.
You know how it is these days. Okay,
Mm.
so are you Christian?
Yes.
What's one verse in the Bible that whenever you feel down, you know you can always go to and it will just lift you up?
That famous verse, Philippians 1, verse 14 to 19. I
What
think
does
so.
it
The
say?
one that says, I know the plans I have for you. I can't get my Bible. But yeah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans for you to prosper and not perish. Yeah, it sounds like that. I don't know the exact words. I haven't mastered it.
Isn't that
Yeah.
Jeremiah 29 verse 11 or something?
Oh, I think it's that one. Yeah, yeah.
Philippians is that one that says I can do anything through Christ who strengthens me.
Christ. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's
Yeah.
Jeremiah.
But yeah, I often get these two verses confused as well because they are two of my favorite verses. And
Mm-hmm.
I often interchange them. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
love these verses as well.
How much do you think our parents influence us in terms of what beliefs, Christian wise, or just life in general wise? How much do you think our parents or the people that we look up to, how much influence do you think they exert on us? I'll give you an example. If you're born to a denomination X, your parents go to denomination X, and you're born
Yeah.
into that family, what are the odds that if you were to ever leave that denomination, your parents would be okay with it? And speaking from a Zambian, do parents even allow that? Or do you just have to be brought up in the same system where they are? And do you think that's good or bad?
That you can't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think okay, for me it's different, but let me answer that one. I think it's kind of bad, but it depends on their reaction when you leave a certain denomination. Like, are they going to disown you, say bad things about you? No, this one left because of social. But I don't think um it's yeah, I think it's bad. But through experience, like I've seen in my family, because my family we are Catholic, so like even my mom's side, my dad's side, my dad is Catholic, my mom is Catholic. So our parents do, and our guardians and the people we look up to do play a major role when it comes to our beliefs. Because I've seen like some of my sisters who married a man who's not from our church. They didn't really like disown what. They didn't do that. It's like they can't do anything because at the end of the day the person is in love. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember my uncle, he married a Jehovah's Witness. Yes, he married a Jehovah's Witness. So, and on her side, it was bad. Like, the parents didn't want her to marry a Catholic man. I don't even think they showed up at her wedding or, those two men. And it was very hard to talk to them. But, through continuous trying to talk to them, I think they finally, they just accepted it that she married a Catholic man.
Do you
But she
think
didn't
do you think
stop.
do you think religion should play a role in who you marry?
Yes.
Should, should you discriminate to say I can't marry in that church?
It depends on their belief. It depends on their
What
belief
do you
because,
mean
like the
exactly?
Bible
What do you
says,
mean?
look at the Bible says that do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Yes,
No, but
because
they
if
are
I
believers
can
in
be,
just a different denomination.
it's different, yeah. Because me, I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and I believe that Jesus died like this on the cross. He doesn't believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. He believes that Jesus died like this. Those are powerful,
Yeah.
very
So
powerful.
don't you think then, as the Bible
Mm,
and as Jesus showed
mm,
this example to say, in that case, we need to sit down and try to not really talk things through, but try to understand each other's perspectives? Because I would be curious, why do you think Jesus died like this? And I'm sure he would
mm.
also be curious why you think Jesus died like that. So don't you think at that point, the first thing that should be available, of course, should be the love, right? You guys both think you can be together, and then there's this conflicting part of the belief system. So then you can sit down and say, okay, so what's going on? What are your beliefs, and what are you also share your beliefs? But then I feel like
Mm-hmm.
most of it Zambia, we already have that preconceived notion to say, and Jehovah's Witness, you don't know half of what he believes in, and you're just judging him from
True.
afar. And the Bible in itself, which you're basing all your judgments on, says, you need to be listeners. You need to, Jesus said so many examples of why you shouldn't look down on anything because of their beliefs. I think a very good example is that dude who was beaten and left to die, and
The Good
everyone else,
Samaritan.
exactly, the Good Samaritan, everyone else passed by. Everyone was judging him without really knowing what was going on there.
Mm.
So I feel like you should really look into that.
Yeah. And also knowing God for yourself, like reading the Bible, actually studying it and understanding it is very important.
I actually think that's one major problem I have with majority of denominations in Zambia.
Mm.
They are so focused on their individual teachings, they forget about the main teaching. The main teaching is the gospel of Jesus Christ. And everybody, every one of those denominations, they believe in the gospel of Jesus, right? But then they get so lost in the smallest details of what makes them a different denomination. For example, SDS, the only part they're going to focus on, I'm SDA by the way, so that's why I'm using my denomination as an example. So like they focus on only the Sabbath, keeping the Sabbath on. You go to Pentecostal, all they focus on is praying in tongues and just casting out demons. And so people focus on small parts of the entire Bible, forgetting about the major reason why they believe in what they believe in. So I think that's a certain mindset we need to change. People need to focus on the bigger picture. Like you said, Francisca,
Yeah.
knowing God on your own, having that relationship with Him, and things like, what church do you go to, wouldn't be a problem in relationships.
Hope so.
I agree. I have a question for you, Francis. On the topic that we are discussing, I think it's only right that I pivot into this section. Do you think working hard always guarantees success, or do you think there are other factors that play a role?
Other things that play a role in working hard.
No,
Yes,
in
there are other things
success.
that success.
So do you think working hard by itself will guarantee you success, or do you think it's working hard plus other factors?
I think it's working hard plus other factors.
Okay, good. So do you have control of those other factors?
In a way,
Explain.
kind of.
Explain.
It's like I can work hard. I work hard in school, I get distinctions, I graduate with a merit or a credit or whatever. But then if I don't have, for example, what they like saying in Zambia, it's connections. If I don't have connections, if I don't have, like if I'm not, how can I put this? If I don't know a lot of people in my field, or if I don't have friends who are abroad like you guys, who will help me, like for example, I come to you, hey guys, I finished this so, please help me. You help me. But if I don't have all those things, I don't think I'll be able to get, go where I'm going. Because if I just use my papers only, I don't think you can, achieve success. Yes, you can work hard. There are a lot of people these days, they're saying they have the papers, but then they're saying they can't find a job. Why? Why can't they find a job?
Connection.
Like it doesn't
Put so many reasons that I could think of.
like what?
Study the wrong course, it's
Speaking about courses and stuff, like
Uh-huh.
let's keep that thought. But I want to understand, like, Francisca, your journey, educational journey to where you are at the moment, what you're doing, what you're studying, and what you hope to gain from it.
I actually had a feeling you asked me this question. So like my educational journey. Finished high school, UNZA. Because my brother was at UNZA. So daddy.
I want to know the da. Why are you skipping the da?
What school are you at?
It's not everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Most of my school was at a Catholic school. So, and an all girls school. There's only one time I was at a core school. That was at Pestalozzi. And there's only for like 2 months, I think. Then I went two terms, yes. Then I went back to the girls school to write exams. Yeah, after writing exams, I was given the option: do you want to go back to Pestalozzi or you go to Mary Immaculate, which is a new private boarding school. Same uniform as the one I had when I was in grade 8 and 9. Yes. So I'm like, go school. Nah, I don't want to be near boys. So girls school. I went girls school, finished school. So when I finished school, I used to do pures. Yeah, I used to do pure science. But then I wrote science. And I failed. I failed, please. I don't know if the words were different from what I knew, but I failed. I failed science, but passed everything else. ADMA, syllabus D, civic ed, religious, so I had to rewrite science, which I did, and I passed. So then that's when I could apply to UNZA, the famous UNZA. My dad was like, you have to go to UNZA because your brother went to UNZA. Cheers. Who I'll do as wise. But then again, what am I going to study? I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to be an engineer because my brother is an engineer. I didn't want to be an engineer. And I didn't even know a lot of other programs. I didn't know there was psychology. I didn't know. I didn't know there was political science. I had no idea. I didn't know there was computer science. Maybe I knew, but then I'm like, computers? No. I don't even know anything about computers. So yeah. So then my dad gave me an idea. He was like, since you took agric in grade 8 and 9, there's an agriculture course, so you should do that. Like my dad just gives us like ideas. Is that the person who give an idea? Okay, this is this because of this. He was like, agric in maybe in years to come will be the main focus. And today, agric in Zambia is the #1 focus. So it's like he predicted it. So I'm like, let me just follow my dad. Kali knows these things. He's in government and what. So first year, I remember I entered UNZA through agriculture and education. Yes, so I didn't take physics. So when we wrote our first year courses, going to second year, I changed from agric with education to full-time agric. Cool. Yeah, did the whatever. Second year we learned. Third year, now where they separate you now. So there are five schools. There's soil science, the one I'm in right now, plant science, animal, economics, and extension, agriculture extension. So I wanted agriculture economics. That was my first option. Yeah. And then second option, I put soil science. I don't even know why I put soil science. Like when we were in second year, when we were learning soil science, it was so hard because it was online. But then when we came into school, it started making sense. Like after you learn with your friend, doing the teacher, this like this. And okay, it's actually nice, actually interesting. We put soil science. Number 3, I put crop. So now when we wrote our exams and our names came out, my name was on soil science. I'm like, oh no, I'm dead. I don't know why I put soil science in me. I don't know I could have put crop. But there was a decision to change. You could do that if you talk to the dean and what. So now we went to the dean's office, and a lot of people want to change from their programs. I wanted to go to economics. When they said one of my points for microeconomics I didn't make it. I got a C+, and then the other one I got a B, so I didn't make it for economics. So my dad also went to talk to the dean. Even now she started, no, me when I was here, I didn't like the course I was in. It's hard. But look at me where I am now. I'm the dean. I'm the assistant dean. And my dad even named me. Also added his flavor. What? Soil science is the cream. Everything starts from the soil. He didn't know anything about soil science, but he convinced me. I'm like, cool. I will stay in soil science. Yeah. And yeah, soil science, I entered. But I'm like, what is this, you guys? I had soil physics and soil climatology. No, just climatology. I failed soil physics. I had to resit for a SAP. Yeah, okay, cool. Again, fourth year, this year, last year, it was bad. So again, I'm sitting for another soil course. So now I went up to my HOD, and then I was telling him like, sir, like this department is hard. I don't even know like I'm not even meant to be here, but then it's too late because I'm already at the end. I'm entering fifth year, so I just have to push myself. Then he told me that that same thing that you like for Noah, I don't want to be in soil science, I don't want to be in soil science. I feel like it's affecting you in a way. Because like if you keep telling yourself that, meaning your attitude towards and everything talking about soil will be like, different. I mean, yeah, soil science makes sense. It's very hard, but manageable. It's very hard, but manageable. Yeah. But I feel like in a way, I don't think it's really, how can I put this? Doesn't, how can I put this? I don't know how to explain this. But like it's not at heart. Like you have to have passion for what you study, you get. I don't think it can help me in a way to showcase my abilities. Yeah. And I don't know. But also I'm at academically. Yeah. That's what I'm at.
Oh, you said so much, so many points where I could ask questions from. Let me start from high school. You said you went to an all girls. How do you
Yes.
think that set you up for success in life? Do you think that helped you, or do you think it took a toll on your life in any way, being at an all girls school? Basically, what are the
No.
advantages of an all girls school that
Yeah,
you've
an
seen?
audio. I think it was like how to live with girls in general, like
Yeah.
how to go, like, yeah, and it was a Catholic school, so um I think I learned a lot about my denomination and whatnot, but I think it was good for me to be at a girls' school because the time I went to a co school, eh, I
Strange.
was a new kid, but I already found a boyfriend. Why? I was like, let me take myself back to a girls' school where I can focus properly.
I want,
But
I
that
want, I want, I want to hear more about that, Francis.
I was like,
About the fact that you are the new kid and you find a boyfriend. Elaborate.
imagine. Yeah.
no, please
I
share
want
what
to hear more
happened.
about it. I don't even know. Like, when I look back, just childish, man. I mean, we were just, I was like a new girl in the library, Professor Lozzie, and then I just saw this guy. I'm like, this guy is nice. So I take my friend went to talk to him. And now we're going the same bus together. And I thought, okay, cool. But my device is overheating. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Like a new girl there. So I talking to a new guy. Even him also a new kid, the guy. So it's like we connected in a way.
Do you that sounds like you had so much self-control that you realized that's not how you were supposed to be living life, and you managed to take yourself out of there. Have you
Yep.
always been like have you always been like that? How did you make such a decision? Because I'm assuming you were young, you probably had friends who were already doing that kind of stuff. So how did you
Fear.
realize?
Fear. My parents were very strict. Eh. And then it's like,
About that. No, you
mm,
can go ahead. You can go ahead.
you know how, like, my dad was very strict. It's like, you know where you come from, so you can't do certain things because it will be denting where you come from. So I can't do these certain things because I know where I come from, and I don't think I should do this. So it's like, yeah, that's why I think.
Yeah, I wanted to ask because we are the youths of Zambia and the world right now. We are the
Mm-hmm.
incoming parents. So I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to figure out, to understand your thoughts on uh, how strict we should be with kids. Do you feel like being strict on children is helpful, or letting them, roam free, explore their whatever they are meant to do in the world and stuff like that? Which one is better? Letting them explore or being strict on them? And why do you
I think
think
we
that
should
way?
be strict. You should be strict without restraint, guys. In as much as I was brought up in a strict home, everything that happened to me and everything that I'm experiencing is it's happening at the exact time it's supposed to. And like I'm experiencing things not like I didn't grow up too fast. No, like when you're 16 years old, you're around people who drink. No, I was only around people who drink when I went to university. So it's like everything was step by step. If you allow your child to roam around, social media these days is bad. We have same-sex couples, all those things. Even at a show at Coco Melon, there was a same-sex couple. Me shocked. I'm like, see,
What
I
is
think
Coco
we should
Melon?
be Coco. It's
It's a
a
cartoon.
kids show.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is it a kid show that is produced the
No,
Western
it's a
countries,
kid show. Kid show.
but it's produced in which country?
I
Huh?
think the US.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
US, the US is. If it was produced by Zambia, I would have been shocked. Because I would have been like, wow. But
But
yeah,
Francisca,
I get you.
I think you've made a very good point of restrictions, and I totally agree with you. There are certain things that a child needs to be, and I don't think restricted is the word, but I think it's protected from by the
Mhm.
parents because they know better, right? So they're just
Yeah.
trying to guide you in the way that they understand because they've experienced this life uh, longer than you have. But you've
Yes.
also raised a very strong point about it seems to me like your father has always been there for you, and he sounds like an amazing father, I must say. He's guided you through and through. He's given advice where there's need. But one point where I'm concerned is um, one problem that I have with it, the way we Zambians do things is we we don't totally utilize our skill set, our capabilities, and our uniqueness as a person. So you find that
Mhm.
half of the people doing medicine at UNZA were taught to do medicine by their parents or their friends.
Exactly.
How do you think that that has affected, maybe even you, because you're sort of in a similar boat. You're doing something that you were taught to do. I mean, you might get
Yeah.
lucky, you fall in love with it, you like it, but
Mhm.
in that's like a unique, a situation. What of that one person who is doing something that he was told he could do or he should do, and then he doesn't even like it? Like, what are your thoughts on that entire situation?
I feel like when it comes to like skills, because I'm only knowing this now. Like you can use your skills to um do something, make money.
Yep, that's Lusaka
Yes.
for you.
I love Lusaka, man.
Yeah. You were.
Yes. Mm, I don't really know how we help that person, honestly. Like rephrase the question. The answer has gone.
Yeah, it's because of that dog. That dog.
Mm-hmm.
Tell it again. You were?
And it's alone, eh?
I bet the
No,
name
my
is Scooby.
Scooby. Typical. The question was, this thing in Zambia where we sort of just do things because someone told you to do, not because
Mm-hmm.
that's where your heart lies, that's what you're good at. I'll give you an example,
Mm-hmm.
right? There might be someone studying medicine who might be very good at content creation,
Mm-hmm.
or just something totally different, who might be very good at, just critical thinking or coming up with
Mm-hmm.
ideas inventions. But then because he had 6 points and the mom has always wanted to have a doctor in the family, he is shoved into this people where he has to do medicine by whatever means. And then
Mhm.
second year in doing medicine at UNZA, he realizes this is not what he likes and he's failing at it now and he feels like a failure because he's using
Mhm.
skills that he doesn't really have or
Mhm.
that he's just basically not using his stronghold.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that situation and that scenario, or and how we can improve it, or what the new generation should really
Oh.
change their thinking and look at it?
I think we should like allow our children to explore their skills because speaking from experience, when I was in primary school, I was in a lot of clubs. I was an athlete. I was in cultural dancing. I was also in art. I was also a majorette. I was in so many clubs, and I was good at all of them. So now I remember once I was telling my mom about, no, there's something going on. We're doing this and that, this and that. And then she would tell me, why are you in so many clubs? Only choose one. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I won't choose one. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do everything. Yeah. So now, and I remember when I was young, they would never like come to watch me race. You know how white people are. They'll go watch their children do their activities, da 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 da. And my dad used like saying you can't do two things at the same time. Like I remember when I finished school, I was doing exotic cooking. It was his idea because I wasn't in a home economics or FN class. I was just doing PUAs. He was like, I'll put you in a cooking school. Then at the same time, I wanted to learn how to use an instrument. And then he told me that you can't do two things at the same time. I was upset. Or maybe it was money, I don't know. So I feel like we need to listen as the future parents, need to listen to our children and also ask them what they like. And you know how it is in the Western culture, you have all these types of sports. There's skating, there's swimming. I don't think as Zambia we have. I mean, we're starting. I've seen a gymnastics thing. We are starting slowly by slowly, and I think also it's because of that as Zambia we don't have information on such things. But I think that in the future we should like try to help our children, try to understand your child and not force them to do things, but not forcing, but at the same time, since I'm the parent, I'm in charge of this child, so I should make sure, and it's my job, I should make sure that they are going in the right direction. Because you can't have a child, maybe you take them to school, da, 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 then they tell you tomorrow, I want to be a DJ. DJ. And then you look at the job itself, I want to be a DJ. Where are you going to be DJing? In a club where people are doing bad things. I also need to lead you to Christ. So as a man, you get so yeah.
So I don't know if it's just me or maybe Nelson, you're getting this as well. I'm getting a contradiction, Francisca. Earlier you said we
Yeah.
need to be strict with our children. But then now you're telling us, no, let them explore and we should allow them to explore. But again, the closing remarks were that it's the onus is on us parents again to make sure we are doing the right thing for the children. So where does the balance lie? How do we get that balance of allowing them to explore but while being strict?
Mm, I think maybe like informing them of the bad part of the world and what if you go this direction, you end up falling in a ditch. But if you go this direction, you end up, going up. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
Right. I feel like you're totally right, and that totally sums it up. Uh, for me personally, the best way of doing things is, like you said, totally explaining to say, if you go this route, this is what you find. if you go this route, this is what you find. But ultimately, the decision of which route you take is with you. But I've already told you what you expect to find on both ends, and the decision of which route you take is totally up to you.
But that is assuming that the parent is also in the right direction. Because we have parents
Yeah.
they want the best for their child, but their experiences show that, oh, you gotta be a doctor to be successful. Their intentions are right. So all they'll tell you is you cannot be a successful DJ, like we've given the example. But there are better DJs that are doing DJing not only at clubs, they're doing DJing at corporate events and all these other different platforms. And they're making good money out of that. But because I'm the parent that knows only medicine and engineering, I'm gonna force, not really force, I don't know the right word, but I'm gonna, try to make my child follow that route because I don't believe they can go the other route. So I don't see where the balance is. So, like you can say, yes, let's tell them the good and the bad, but that depends on the parent as well and the experience as well. Because if the experience is about medicine, they're gonna instill that in their children. They don't know about other experiences and things like the DJing and what they can do with those things as well. But for Zambia, what do you think? Because I think the other question that we have discussed, Nelson, was trying to see how relevant cultural practices are that we used to practice in the end and how relevant are they in today's society. So for a nation like Zambia, such practices, and some beliefs that we have, how relevant are they to today's society and what changes do we need to see? Because not everything in the West is supposed to be implemented in Zambia. There's some things that we're like, yeah, that should never reach Zambia. So like, where do we strike a balance of getting some stuff from culture, but also learning from the West and East? China is also expanding. We have a lot of Chinese in Zambia.
That's for you, Francisca. That was a question.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really know, Like,
Let me put it.
yes, we can get some part of what's happening in the West and also traditional stuff. Maybe like fuse them and find a balance. I don't know. Maybe
Let me ask
when
you.
we cross the, I don't know.
What Zambian culture do you think is detrimental or doesn't really help us in any way? You just
like what kind of Zambian culture?
Yeah, like anything that we as Zambians believe or do that you don't really see the need,
I can't think of one.
We'll give you an example.
Give me an example.
Listen, you can give the example.
I'll give you an example. Okay, there's when a girl child reaches a certain age, right? There are certain practices that traditionally the parents will follow. And to my understanding, some of them are irrelevant, right?
Like
I am not a girl. I don't know what exactly happens.
So did you experience anything where they
reaches a
told you
certain
to do
age.
certain things?
Yeah.
When you reaches a certain age, the maturity age. Like certain things.
Yes, be had, right? Certain conversations should be had about why when you reach maturity, you now start experiencing certain things, right? And it's only right that important, but to some point they probably do it excessively. Again, I don't really know much about it, so I'm hoping to learn from you.
I think I know what you're talking about.
That was an example. That's just an example that I thought.
Yeah. I think that is relevant. I think it is relevant. I
You think
think.
it's relevant?
Yes.
Explain.
Because I didn't do it. Like I was told to do it, but I didn't do it.
Okay. I
Yeah, I was
was
told to do it, but I didn't do it.
okay. Good to know. I was watching a video once of this lady. I think it's somewhere in Western Africa, and that practice is so prevalent that now it's used for some sort of ritual. It's
Yeesh.
called, what do they call it? I think it's some form of mutilation or something. So she went to this village, and like all the all the young girls there go through this, and it sort of like does something to your brain, because that's sort of inhumane. I don't know exactly the details of what went on, but so she started involving like non-governmental organizations and started educating the locals about the dangers of doing that, because that could be a site of or a possible way of actually getting some really terrible bacterial infection and stuff like that, because it's not being done under the proper conditions. So this lady that I was watching really started educating the community, and the numbers dropped. Before she started doing that, I think uh, one in three, not one in three, only 1 in 5 girls hadn't done it, meaning 4 out of 5 had done it, which was a really
Mm-hmm.
alarming number. But after she started sensitizing the community, the numbers dropped. So I just feel like there are certain things, you know, with the
That
progression
I
of science and age,
yeah.
we really should talk about them more and really educate our parents, because some of these things, again, they're just inherited. You just do them,
Yeah.
you don't even know why you're doing them.
True. But I
To
think
defend, yeah, you can go ahead.
no, talk.
No, I wanted to say to defend our parents and the people that came before us a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from the experiences I've had and some of the things I've seen in today's culture, not culture, today's society, and the advances in the so-called science, they seem to draw back on some of the practices we used to do. I'm not saying all the practices, but there are certain practices that they're like, yeah, this used to work. We don't know why we stopped following this, and let's continue following this. So definitely, I think there are some practices that we need to continue following, and then there are some that are just ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, there's no need to do that, man. There's no
Yeah,
need for
yeah.
you to not speak to your in-laws for 2 years because of some tradition, and every time you see them, you need to go down and go in dust. There's no need for that. I'm wearing a suit. I'm going for a business meeting, and you
I
want me to
mean,
go in dust? Why?
yeah,
To show
I mean,
respect?
you have to show respect, right? But the way you're doing
Eh,
it also
exactly.
can be modified. There's no, like you said, there's no need of going all the way down. You can maybe just
Yeah.
have a slight tilt.
Yeah.
But Francisca, that was your question. What cultural practice do you think we need to look into and rethink?
Is
I
there
think
anything that
that's
comes
same
off
one.
the top of your head?
I think the same one you're talking about. But then when I look at when you look at girls of nowadays in Osaka, like my friends, when I talk to my friends and we talk about it, it's not really something. I mean, yeah, they were taught, but then it's not something that we do. So it's like I've seen that I think we have more information, like when it comes to
Yeah.
science-based things, and also
Mhm.
experience also. Like people are experiencing things. Like why are you too fast? Like you're 16 and you're already doing those things. Like those things. So it's like through experience and through the world today, I think things have changed. Things have changed in as much as you still need to do them. I don't know why we still do them, but I think maybe they had like a certain meaning back then. Yeah. And it's like our parents who were there back then are still trying to infuse it in us. Like trying to
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, what they are trying to do. Maybe like
So you were
teachers, I don't know, and how.
so you
I
were
don't know if
taught to
I've
do
answered the
it?
question. Yes. I don't know. Are we talking about something? But
We can only hope so. We hope we're talking about the same thing.
Andy,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Have you heard of anyone who did it who would maybe who shared with you the advantages of doing it?
I don't know
Because I also just
anyone.
don't know about it.
No, no, I don't think. But then on my sister's wedding, like first the traditional wedding, now you have the chilanga mlilo, what. So now, before you get that mother, chimbusa, something like that. Yes.
Right.
So before you do your chilanga mlilo or whatever, they're supposed to check you. Check you. Okay. And my mother was telling me this. They are supposed to check you. And then, like, if they find that you didn't do what you were told to do, I don't know if you won't get married or kaya or something. They won't go ahead with the traditional wedding. You want to go ahead. Something like that. I don't know, but I think they managed to bribe Chimbusa or something. I don't know.
Now we need to find out. We need to find out more about this. What are the advantages of doing?
I know,
If there are any?
yeah. Although there's this one female friend I had. She was explaining. Oh, she didn't explain, but she told me she did it,
Mm-hmm.
and she was telling me why she did it. So apparently, it's more beneficial to the husband.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I heard. So like, in culture, the wife's role, amongst other things, is to impress the husband. So that is done so that the husband can enjoy the experience
Yeah.
of having a wife.
Interesting.
Yep.
Francis, you said you're doing remind me of the course that you're doing again.
Soil science.
Soil science, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you're about to graduate, so now you're probably looking into like what companies you work for, what is in store for you in the future. How do you
Mm-hmm.
envision your work to be like? What are your plans for the near future? What do you think you'll be working on? Any particular project that you think would be great to implement in Zambia from the knowledge that you've gathered so far in school?
How it can help Zambia? I think from the knowledge of soil science, what I've picked, the small parts I've picked. Since Zambia has like the soil in Zambia is like the climate is tropical, so meaning our soils have a lot of acid in them. They're acidic, and most of the times farmers are not aware of their soil. Like they just find a land, they just start planting. They don't even like test the soil. Like to some of those farmers, for example, subsistence farmers. I know commercial they have some knowledge. I think I don't know, I haven't looked into it. But for subsistence farmers, the people in the village, whatever, I don't think they have that knowledge. You can find they plant something and the crop isn't doing well, or they're not getting their end result. I feel like as a soil scientist, I would like to touch on follow like people in the village. But I think people in the village also, they have, it's like they use composite, like they'll just get to a small thing. They don't even know why they're doing that. They've just been told from someone that no, you get so this type of plant. So I want to research more on something about how they do their planting scheme and how I can, with my knowledge, to what I've learned, how I can help them, or stuff like that.
So with Zambia's acidic soil, what are some of the best crops that we can plant that could survive that acidity?
One of the best crops.
Yeah, is maize one of them?
Yes, maize is one of them. Also, I think cowpeas, and also sorghum. Yeah, just those, and onion. Depends on the area, the region you're in, because there are different regions in Zambia.
And with all this climate change that's impacting the world, really, how do you think that's changing the soil dynamics?
Climate change. I haven't really looked into climate change, but from the little I know, I feel like, because right now it's supposed to be raining, and it hasn't rained for I don't know how many. Last time I saw rain was yesterday. It hasn't been raining for 2 weeks now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It hasn't been raining for 2 weeks, meaning most of our crops are going to die. Just zoom in. Okay. Yes. I feel like
What's
the
going on?
climate is in the soil in a way that many of our crops are drying up, and the plants to get out of the soil need the rain, and they need the rain to continue with their growth. I don't know how to explain, but yeah.
So we need to diversify, basically.
Yes.
But what are
Yes.
the other crops that we need to diversify to that could survive those harsh conditions?
Maybe cereal crops. Like, yeah, I think cereal crops. And one thing I've noticed that in Zambia we export most of our food. And I haven't researched a lot. I need to do a lot of research, but I haven't researched a lot on why we mostly export when we can just plant those. And I think that why we don't plant certain type of crops is because of our climate and our soils. Yeah, I think.
What's the most surprising thing that you studied under your course? Something that you didn't expect.
Most
surprising.
Soil chemistry.
Tell me
I
more
was so
about that.
shocked. I was so shocked when you said in soil chemistry, because in soil chemistry it's a full course. So we have the soil chemistry part, and then there's mineralogy. So on the soil chemistry part, we learn about the chemistry of the soil and how soil has a charge. It has electrical charges. Soil has soil colloids. Soil colloids are the ones that have positive and negative charges. Yes, and then we learn something about CEC, which is cation exchange capacity. Yeah, I was so shocked when we learned about all those things. I was so confused, but then I pushed hard. Then we also have mineralogy. Mineralogy, please talk about minerals in the soil and how the structure of the soil. Even in mineralogy, we're learning about polarized light, like how light passes through minerals to form so, and how it was just wild.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, it is.
So how do you balance your school life and your social life? I mean, I went through your Instagram. Yeah.
What did you find?
Nothing that could incriminate you. It looked great.
how do you balance? So being a science student, because I had a roommate who was in humanities, she would only have like 3 classes in a week,
Yeah.
and all her classes were like in the afternoon or maybe one at 7. And when you compare science with humanities, it was just so different. Science students, as agriculture, we have class from, depends on which class you have, 9 to 17. Yes, your classes start from 9 and they end at 17. But then there's a break at 13. Yeah, session of break. And that session of break isn't even supposed to be for going back to your room or you eat. No, they're supposed to eat. Like I used to use that 13 hours to eat because food is number one. Always. Yes. So during the week, because class ends at 17, like from 17 to 23, that's why you do your cooking, your socializing with your friends, and also studying. I used to compare to my HOD, like, sir, all our classes end at 16, and I only have 6 hours to do maybe classwork or something, and I have to cook, so 2 hours out. I have to cook and eat, and then I have 4 hours. In those 4 hours, I also want to take a nap. I want to watch a series, and I have to socialize, and then I have to study. Just like every day during the week, you sleep the next day. You don't sleep at 22, no, you sleep the next day. Instead of sleeping at midnight or at 01 or at 2 or at 3. So the only time we manage to socialize is on Friday after class. Yeah, that's when we utilize Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And most of my friends, all my friends in fact, were all in humanities. So it's like they would come to my room, they would follow me, and they would talk, chat, laugh. That's when I would manage as a science student to socialize. But then usually what happens before exams, that's when you see the students now studying. Like people are quiet, everyone is making funny noises. And then when the semester just starts, everyone is playing. People are coming back at 04. You are hearing cars with music. But when it just reached at a week to exams, everyone is serious. No one is coming back at 04 from the club. I mean, they're there. Those, I don't know who, those are brainiacs. They do all that. But then that's how we manage to socialize.
What do you think is one of the most important things you've learned from being at the University of Zambia?
One of the main things I learned, I think it's how to balance your life and responsibilities in general, and how to not, like, don't beat yourself up when it comes to school because you die. Mm,
What is one thing
yeah.
that you don't really like about that school? Something you're just like,
What I don't
I wish.
I think sanitation, because the hostel I'm in, I mean, yeah, it's one of the hostels that everyone fights for. Everyone fights for Mwanawasa because the rooms are big. But then when it comes to sanitation, like the showers, the toilets, because there are 3 stories, I'm on the last one. And then I remember last year when we got a new president, we had water going all the way, reaching us. We had water. But then short, second sem, the water stops coming out. So all of us have to go downstairs using one hose pipe to wash our dishes, to draw water for bathing, and then also the toilets. We only had toilets on the second and the last level, meaning the one down, yes, the last level. And then the second level toilets, they stopped working. Also, they used to flood. So all of us, all the girls, imagine. And some people, there are 5 of them in their room. Others are 4. So now all of us have to use the toilet downstairs. All of us have to imagine. And then you know how in the morning, you go you go do number two in the morning. You are rushing down to go use the toilet downstairs. You find the line. Now you can't even do number two, which is bad because you get constipation, you get sick. I hate that part. I hate it so much. So I have to use it. And what I like doing, I used to do this when I was in grade 8. I would draw water in advance. So for the next day, so I do it every day. I do it. I draw water because I don't want in the morning when I'm rushing for class. I have to go all the way downstairs. I find the line. I wait, which is time wasting. So I just draw water in advance, and then next morning, yeah, I heat it up and I bath and I go to class. That's what I hate about that school.
Yeah, I see. Sanitation is a big thing in Zambia, in Lusaka in general, hence the cholera outbreak. Yeah.
What more? Ish.
Yeah, Jackson, what's your experience with the University of Zambia? Because you were there for a while.
Yeah. I was there. So it's interesting to hear that Manawasa is that bad because I was by Kwacha. And
Ish.
Kwacha was bad, man. Oh my goodness. I hated that place, man. Like she said, there's on the top levels there was no water at all. So every time you wanted to go take a shower, you want to wash, it was a hassle. You need to go downstairs and all that stuff. Yeah, sanitation part, they gotta improve massively because they're not doing a good job about sanitation. One thing I love about UNZA, environment is good for people that are about to transition from living with parents to living on their own. It sort of helps you become mature. Because if talk of connections, if you don't have a place to stay, you need connections to find a place to stay at UNZA. Otherwise, you're becoming from home every day. You find a place to stay, you get a place. Unless you come from a well-to-do family that provides for every food, to get food, you need to have friends around. You need to know people that will help you get certain things that you need. Otherwise, you'll be spending a lot on small things. So some of these things I learned at UNZA. Being at Kwacha there, I had to interact with some people. I had to befriend some people that I never thought I would befriend, just to get some of these things done, like finding a room, getting small things sorted out, getting water heated for Christ's sake. I had to know somebody for that. I had to know somebody for every different thing. So like UNZA is built to build us to become, I wouldn't say better individuals in society, but because I'm from there, I would say it's the best institution if you want to become a better adult in society. It really teaches us to know how to live in Lusaka and Zambia in general. So I love that aspect of it. If they can fix the sanitation part.
You're about to say something, Francis?
I was saying survival skills. It teaches us survival skills.
Exactly what I was about to say. Does it teach you how to live or does it teach you how to survive given very few resources? Survive.
UNZA is about survival, in my experience. They teach you how to survive.
Do you want a population that knows how to live, or do you want a population that is just surviving to reach the next day?
I would choose the population that knows how to live, but with the current circumstances, the survival is better because it's either survival or nothing. So that's the only option there. We don't have any other place where you can go and they give you the skills to live a comfortable life. The only thing we have is learn how to survive or learn how to do nothing. So I would go for the survival at the moment. But of course, there's a lot of work we need to do as a nation to change the education system, to change how we perceive success in Zambia. But at the moment, I'll still stick with UNZA being the best institution in the nation.
Are we just UNZA being the best institution because that's what everyone says? I mean, have we And I say that with the utmost respect, of course. I mean, it's the oldest.
Oh, yes.
It's produced countless, professionals in this country. But again, at that, it just seems like it's all about survival, and I'm not sure that's the best way of going about things. And even the way it's run administratively, it doesn't seem to be the best. There's always cases of over enrollment. Now you just wonder who is enrolling these people and not taking count, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it seems like everyone just wants to go there for the name. So that kind of
Mm-hmm.
takes away from quality aspect of it. Yes, at some point it's going to definitely trim down and just be left with the cream of the cream. But can we also just tell the upcoming generation to say, hey, you don't always have to go to UNZA, go to UNILAS, go to Levi Mwanawasa. You get equally the same level of schooling, if not even better. You probably miss out on the survival that you get at UNZA, but you'll be, because one thing I like saying is in Zambia we have this notion where we think um, suffering always equates to success. Say if you suffer so much, then at some point you miraculously be successful, because Nigerian movies we grew up watching always had that story where someone suffers, and then towards the end everything just falls in place, right? But
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. Yes, as you are working towards your goals, there will be some bit of suffering, right? But it shouldn't be self-induced suffering whereby ukunde, I'm going to suffer, and I'll just accept it and I'll go and suffer, and then hopefully I'll be successful. I feel like that's the UNZA story. You're not going in there, you're going to suffer so much. But you have other options. You have other schools which are offering scholarships right now. If you believe you're that good, go to those other schools, get the scholarship, you'll be okay. What do you think,
Mm.
Francis? That's just me mumbling.
I think when it comes to UNZA, like from what I was told, UNZA is the state university. UNZA being the state university, from what I was told, I haven't asked any UNZA alumni like how is it like at the workforce? Do they really consider people from UNZA first and then people from other universities second? I don't know. I haven't asked. But for me that's what I believe. I feel like even if when we're trying to apply for a scholarship, for example, like what you said, if I want to go to another country to do maybe my masters, there's an option that says put your university has to be one that's known, like it should be a known university. Yes, because I can't put Eden University. I don't know if Eden is known. I don't know. I don't even know where Eden came from. So is my
Right.
university known? So I think that's where UNZA students get their pride from, because it is a state university. It's the best in Zambia when it comes to the name. I think, I don't know.
Yes. It's the best when it comes
Yes,
to the name. I agree.
yes. When it comes, yes. But when you go to UNZA yourself and you see how things, because it's a government. You know how government schools are. You have government workers. You've been to a government, for example, government hospitals. The other time I was talking about the government hospital. It's the same. You suffer until you reach the end. You suffer, you'll
Yeah.
be in a line for a long time, and then finally you succeed. I think that's how it is. And UNZA teaches you patience. Like they even told us in first year when we came. And then you go to UNZA, UNZA is going to teach you patience. Number one. So I feel like it's, I don't know.
I feel like,
I think it's the name.
and I agree, it's a name and it's a flawed way of looking at things. Jackson, you attest to this. In the US, whenever you're applying to anything, they never even look at your school. They just look at your skills that you have. Can you do the job? Yes, good. If you pass the interview stage, you're good. So why are we so fixed at looking at the school in Zambia? I feel like we should just, it shouldn't be like that. If you have the skills, it doesn't matter where you got those skills from. if you have the skills, you can do the job. You should be good. I have
I think we
people at
don't
my
backwards.
yeah, I have people at my workplace who don't even know the school that I went to. But do I have the skills? Yeah. Was I hired? Yeah. So I feel like it should change. And we have so many people suffering
Yeah,
going to UNZA just because of the name. So many other
yeah.
places you can get knowledge from. With all due respect to UNZA, I know you guys are really big UNZA advocates. Yeah. Any questions,
Mm.
Jackson?
No. This is just towards the end of this episode. So I just wanted to hear from Francisca what she thought of this and if there's anything she thought we would touch on and anything she was like, yeah, I think people should know this about me. And if we can expect a part two of this episode.
Am I expecting a part 2? Yes. I feel like there are other things we need to touch on,
Like what?
especially when it comes to skills, like what you talk about the skills in the US. How, you know, I think as an individual, I feel like there's some skills we can learn and skills we have, but then we don't know about our abilities as an individual. I feel like because of where I am right now, um, I didn't really have the opportunity to, you know, showcase my skills, and also how almost everyone is doing the same thing. And if, for example, I want to use my skill to earn like a high income learning skill, like what do I need to do, things like that.
I hear you. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
like the Zambian pool of skilled people is really diluted. Everyone knows something, like you said. So it's really difficult. You think you gain a skill, you try to look for a job. There are thousands of other people who have the exact same skill. So how do you set yourself apart?
Exactly.
And I feel like that's where your personal uniqueness has to come in. You have
Mm-hmm.
to be creative. But yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
something we can definitely dive far deeper into in our part two. This was more just getting to know you on the surface and see what you believe in, whether Jesus died like this or like this.
Yes.
One day we should shoot an episode in person.
I should do what?
We should shoot an episode in person one day. We will work towards that.
Yes. Yes, please.
Just before I stop recording, thank you so much, Francisca. We really appreciate you. This was amazing. And yeah, I'm gonna stop recording right now, but doesn't mean we can stop talking.
Okay.